What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. Today's video, we're going to give you our power rankings for Week 13 in the NFL. All that and much more coming your way right now! Hey Trash Talkers, over 85% of you are still not subscribed to the channel. Please be sure to hit that red subscribe button and turn on notifications, as it will help us create more daily content for you. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Alright Nick, week 13 is upon us and finally some relief as we are headed toward the back nine, if you will, of the NFL season. And you know, we've seen some really interesting football as of late, but I think this is the time where teams really start to buckle down. They're really getting ready for the playoff run, and you know, the seeding is really starting to take shape. So we're going to see a lot of teams really battle it out for the final 5, 6, and 7 seeds, and also for their division. So let's take a look at the power rankings, see where teams stack up with one another. And why don't you get us started with 31 and 32? Who do you got here?
Yeah, two teams that definitely won't be making the playoffs. The Detroit Lions, who continue to be winless this season, and the Houston Texans, who just lost to the New York Jets. I just don't know how it's possible. Zach Wilson threw one of the most egregious interceptions of the NFL, the National Football League, and he still won the game for the Jets. That's how bad the Houston Texans are right now. That's why they're here at 31.
Starting off teams 30 through 21, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, the New York Jets, the Atlanta Falcons, the Seattle Seahawks, the Chicago Bears, the New York Giants, the Carolina Panthers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New Orleans Saints, and the Denver Broncos. Rounding us out at 21, Nick, which team here surprised you the most this past week?
Yeah, the New York Giants really surprised me. They let Jason Garrett go in the middle of the week, and in came Freddie Kitchens, the former head coach of the Browns, who we all hate. Yeah, we all hate him. But he does know how to call offensive plays, and we saw that this week against the Eagles. The Eagles had a terrible game, and you know, we see that these divisional games are close, but the New York Giants should not have been in this, and it was the offense that kept putting up points against the Eagles defense, and we saw the Giants playing as a whole, playing as an entire unit, and it's really like the first time all season that we've seen them play as well as they did yesterday. Even though they didn't have a run game with Saquon Barkley, they still got the job done, and the Giants are looking bright. Let's see if Freddie Kitchens can keep this up. Let's see if Daniel Jones can look like a top 5 quarterback in this offense.
Let Kitchens cook, or something like that. Listen, I think Freddie Kitchens has done a good job, but a team that could really use him right now, or at least somebody of his caliber, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their offense was absolutely anemic, and when you have top-tier talent like Najee Harris and Mapletron himself, on top of the fact that Deontay Johnson's still there, he's still one of the best playmakers we have in the National Football League. Big Ben Roethlisberger couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if you dared him to. And right now, this offensive line is atrocious. They can't protect anybody. There's nothing good happening with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And on the defensive side of the ball, they are just not playing Pittsburgh Steelers football. I listened to Ryan Clark cry yesterday morning as he talked about how awful and terrible the Pittsburgh Steelers are. They are not playing Pittsburgh Steeler brand football. Even Rex Ryan was laughing at the fact that this is not the Pittsburgh Steelers that we have known and come to love. There is no James Harrison. There's no James Ferrier. There's no Troy Polamalu. There's no Casey Hampton. None of these guys are coming through the door. This is not the old Pittsburgh Steelers we're used to. These guys would rather dance on TikTok and create personal fame for themselves rather than get smash-mouth, hard-nosed football down and gritty with the Cincinnati Bengals. It is atrocious that you not only got walloped, but the Cincinnati Bengals hung 40 on you. They have beaten you for the second time this season. The Pittsburgh Steelers are an atrocity, not only to the Steelers' name, but to the entire NFL. The Bengals are a really good team, and if they had just lost, hey, it is what it is. But they got downright spoiled and got absolutely smashed. This is not a National Football League team. This is not a team that I believe in, and Mike Tomlin needs to get this team right. Otherwise, it might be Freddie Kitchens in his spot next year. All right, now that I've calmed down, let's talk about 20 through 11. And starting off, we have the Washington football team, the Miami Dolphins, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Cleveland Browns, the Philadelphia Eagles moving on up here, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Minnesota Vikings, the San Francisco 49ers, the Cincinnati Bengals, and at number 11, the Indianapolis Colts. Nick, out of these teams, which team surprised you the most?
Well, here come the Miami Dolphins. The team that was 1-7 to start the season is now 5-7 and on the verge of a playoff berth. The Miami Dolphins have all the talent to take them to the playoffs, and now they're finally putting it together just in time for them to make themselves known to the rest of the league that they are still around, they're still kicking, and the Miami Dolphins continue to win 4 straight now. They have a really nice schedule moving forward, and I believe that the Miami Dolphins have a very strong chance at making, not only getting a playoff berth, but actually competing with the rest of the AFC. I really like the trajectory they're on. They're finally starting to make it work. It's about time, and you want to keep hating on Tua, Mike, but you got to admit, the guy knows what he's doing, and he's growing before our eyes. The Miami Dolphins are a great team, and they're getting better.
I'm going to sleep on the Dolphins. I just can't believe in them right now until they see them beat a team of substance. And yes, I get you can only play the teams on your schedule, but the teams of substance they've lost to, except for the Patriots, that was Mac Jones' first NFL start. I'd like to see what they can do at the back end of the season. I think there's better teams out there. I don't even see the Dolphins making the playoffs, but you know what? Maybe they can make it entertaining for their fans as they miss the playoffs yet again. The team I want to talk about, though, is on the verge of making the playoffs and really making a name for themselves, the San Francisco 49ers. Listen, I did not believe in this team, and I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, unlike with the Dolphins. And right now, the San Francisco 49ers are just one of those teams that you want to believe in. I didn't think Jimmy Garoppolo had it in him to lead this team. We saw Trey Lance come in, and he just showed that he wasn't ready yet. He was not ready to take over the reins, and now Jimmy Garoppolo is making it even more difficult for Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch to pull the trigger on Trey Lance. They spent so much draft capital, not only this past year, but in years coming up for Trey Lance, and now Jimmy Garoppolo is playing himself into a potential playoff spot, maybe even making a run with this team yet again. That would be another Super Bowl run for this team if they were to get there. It's not looking pretty right now for the 49ers, but hey, they'll take wins when they get them, and right now, Deebo Samuel might be the Swiss Army knife that we need in the NFL, especially with Christian McCaffrey being out for the season. We see a guy who can run the ball, who can catch the ball, who can do literally anything on the offensive side of the ball. And I'm sure if they wanted him to play defense, he could do that as well. Nick Bosa, Nick, you talk about me hating Tua. I know you hate Nick Bosa, but this guy is for real. He is one of the best defensive ends we have in the NFL. This 49ers team is on the verge of really making some noise. And if the Rams continue to fall the way they are, look out, the 49ers might just be in their grill once again.
And for our top 10, starting off with number 10, we have the Buffalo Bills. The Bills coming off of a big Thanksgiving victory over the New Orleans Saints. They're getting back on the right track after that bad loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're starting to put it together, except they just lost one of the best corners in the league, Tre'Davious White, and now they got to deal with that. Now having to face the Patriots twice in the regular season before going to the playoffs, it's going to be tough for them to get past the Patriots at this point, but they're going to try their hardest, and right now, They seem like they fixed the offense. Hopefully the defense can continue to play at a high level. They're going to need to. But right now, the Buffalo Bills sit here at number 10.
At number 9, we have the Tennessee Titans, the former number 1 team in the AFC, but they just lost to the Patriots, who you were just talking about, Nick. And the Tennessee Titans, they're dealing with a lot of injuries, and they would be the best team if they didn't have these injuries. No A.J. Brown, no Julio Jones, no Derrick Henry, no Jeremy McNichols. I mean, they are just missing almost everybody that you can possibly think of on the offensive side of the ball. On defense, no Rashaan Evans. They struggled without him in the middle of this defense. Now, they sold out for the run and really did a great job on that, but they got torched on the back end. Kevin Byard, who's supposed to be a bright spot in their coverage, really just got absolutely annihilated by Mac Jones in this passing attack, giving up over 90 yards through the air and 2 touchdowns to Kendrick Bourne. Not looking pretty for for them. They have a lot to fix, and a lot of it has to do with just getting healthy. Hopefully the Titans can, otherwise they may not be in the playoff hunt much longer.
Coming in at number 8, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, who were on a bye this week, they moved up slightly just because of the poor play that's continuing in the NFL, but the Chiefs are looking stronger. It looks like Steve Spagnuolo is getting this defense under control, and now that they've had this bye week, it's coming at a perfect time because on this hot streak, they can now continue to work on their fundamentals, continue to work on their game plan, then they can get ready for the rest of the season, moving on into the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs are sitting here at number 8.
Number 7, we see the Dallas Cowboys, who have been struggling without Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb over the last couple of weeks, and now they're going to be dealing with a lot more issues as head coach Mike McCarthy and company, most of the coaching staff and even some players are now out for an extended period of time with COVID-19, and Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb are coming back, so that is the bright spot that they have to look forward to. As long as Dak Prescott and these guys are out there performing, they have not lost a game, but when they're missing their key players, that's when they've struggled the most. I need to see the Cowboys get back on track here. They're missing some key pieces on defense. Hopefully they can overcome that with the additions of Cooper and Lamb back in the lineup. But right now, the Cowboys need a win now more than ever.
Coming in at number 6, we have the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens became the number 1 seed after beating the Cleveland Browns on Sunday Night Football. But when you watch that game, do you really think that the Baltimore Ravens are the number 1 seed in the AFC? Because they didn't play like it. The Ravens defense is porous. They were giving up yards to Baker Mayfield, who barely has 2 arms attached to his body at this point. And then you've got Lamar Jackson throwing 4 interceptions to this Cleveland defense. He's not running the ball right now the same way he did early in the season. Teams are starting to figure him out just like they did towards the end of last season. It's the same thing over and over every time with Lamar. Now we're getting towards the end of the season. There's a lot of tape on what he's been doing this season, and they're starting to figure him out. It's going to be tough for the Ravens moving forward, and outside of their division, I don't know if they're going to be able to get past any of the other high-level teams in the AFC. That's why they come in here at number 6.
At number 5, we see the Los Angeles Rams punch their ticket into our power rankings, and right now, this is kind of their last stand in the top 5. If they don't start to get things together, especially with the addition of Odell Beckham Jr. and Von Miller on the defensive side of the ball, there's not much more we can do to talk them up. They have every single possible player and opportunity that you could possibly want from a football team. They went out and got the quarterback that they wanted. They went out and got the wide receiver that they wanted to complement Cooper Kupp. They have the passing attack. They have the rushing attack, the offensive line, the head coach. They have everything you could possibly want, and they're still losing football games. They are not looking good right now. They need to start putting it all together because this is crunch time. This is where they have to really compete with the Arizona Cardinals for that number 1 spot in their division and in the conference. They lost to the Packers, which pretty much seals them away from getting that number 1 seed. It's going to be a tough struggle for them moving forward. And as I talked about earlier, the 49ers are nipping at their heels. I'd be surprised if the Rams really gave in right now. I need to see more from them right now, and that's why they're at number 5.
Coming in here at number 4, we have the New England Patriots. The Patriots coming off of a big victory over the Tennessee Titans. It didn't look like the blowout we thought it was going to be without the Tennessee Titans players, but the Patriots still got the job done and then some. They got 4 takeaways. Again, one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they continue to play at a very high level. Mac Jones, he was tested a little bit more in this matchup, and we saw that he can handle the pressure. He can throw for a ton of yards if he's needed to. And that means that the passing attack is getting stronger. We already know the run game is strong. This team is just continuing to get stronger and stronger. And although they sit here at number 2 in the AFC, they look like the best team in the AFC, and that's why they're here at number 4.
Talking about the Patriots, well, a guy that they're very familiar with comes in at number 3, and that would be Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. Yes, the quarterback himself. Tom Brady really did a great job of trying to lead this team as much as he could. Struggled early against the Colts, but found his footing and was really able to get this offense back on track. Definitely assisted by Leonard Fournette's 4 touchdown performance, but It seemed like this was a very close back and forth game, and right now the Buccaneers are struggling to perform against high caliber teams. They're easily beating up on the teams they should beat, but when you give them tough competition, as we see with the Colts, they're going to struggle. And it came down to the final play where Tom Brady not only led a comeback, but then they almost gave it all up with a long return on the kickoff. Luckily for them, it didn't pan out that way and they were able to escape with the win, but I need to see more from the Buccaneers. If they're going to compete in the NFC with the Packers and the Cardinals, they have to start performing on all cylinders. The Super Bowl caliber team we know them to be, they need to be that moving forward.
And coming in here at number 2, we have the Green Bay Packers coming off of an incredible win, truly an incredible win over the Los Angeles Rams, absolutely obliterating them in what should have been the complete opposite. You don't have your 2 starting left tackles, Elgton Jenkins and David Bakhtiari. The left side of your offensive line is annihilated, but you get Aaron Jones back, and it doesn't even matter because you see that Devontae Adams is all you need. This guy getting open, the current reigning MVP Aaron Rodgers doing his thing, looking like the MVP. An incredible game, absolutely stellar on both sides of the ball, and the Packers are showing that they don't have many weaknesses left on this team. They have learned their mistakes from previous seasons, and they are coming for the Super Bowl. They're here at number 2.
And at number 1, we have the former number 1 team, the Arizona Cardinals. They were on bye this week, so not much to say about them. The best thing that they did was get healthy. Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins look like they should be back and ready to go for this team. That way, Colt McCoy doesn't have to start another game, and hopefully they can continue to win. The Arizona Cardinals are clearly the best team in football right now, especially under Cliff Kingsbury. What he's done with this team is nothing short of spectacular. I'm excited to see what the Cardinals can do for us moving forward, but right now they are our number 1 team in the NFL.
Yeah, it'll be really nice for the Arizona Cardinals to get DeAndre and Kyler back. These two are massive weapons for them, and they have not been the same without them. But I want to see the Cardinals get back to their dominating ways with these two back in the lineup. It should be exciting.
All right, well, I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of our power rankings. Which teams do we have too high? Which teams do we have too low? Let us know in the comments down below. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. Nick, when do we go live?
Every day.
Every single day. All right, that'll be all. Peace and love.